call the meeting to order. Can we please rise to the pledge? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll open the meeting up to public comment. Okay, no public comment. Acceptance of reports. Be it resolved, the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, approves and acknowledges reviewing the following reports. Meeting minutes, July 6, 2016, reorg meeting, July 6, 2016, our open meeting, and July 19, 2016. Have a motion, please. Motion by Heather, second by Tom. Discussion? Good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Personnel? That's what our audience is here. There you go, again, Walt. Okay, under personnel, is everyone okay taking personnel as a block from A through D with an amendment of E, and then we'll do the recognition. Everybody good? Yeah. Okay, can I have a motion, please? Motion by Tom, second by Sue. Discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Oh, you guys are moving right along. We have a lot of staff members that are newly hired this evening, and we're happy to be able to recognize you tonight and appoint you to the positions that you're being recommended for. Highland Central School District strives to find the best qualified individuals to support our existing staff and to nurture and educate our children, and I think we found that group in all the individuals sitting out there this evening. So with that being said, I'll ask the superintendent to recognize those that are in the audience, and we'll have a little applause for you.
Thank you, Alan, and as Mr. Barone indicated, you all went through a very highly competitive process, and we welcome each and every one of you to the Highland School District. More importantly, I think, to our Highland School family. We are a family, we are a community. As the board president indicated, we support and nurture you as staff so that you can in turn support and nurture our students. I say this in the interview process, we say it during the teacher orientation process, and we reiterate it, I hope, throughout the school year. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to say you have a problem or an issue that you need our help with. Don't struggle alone. Behind a closed door, together we can figure anything out. So please just remember that as you start your career with us. We are here to help and support each and every one of you. You're successful, our students will be successful. So we'll start with Kim Casso. Kim is joining us as an LPN in the high school. Kim? And we have, Kim's no stranger to the district. She's a parent. She's of course, welcome Kim. Denise Fossey. Denise also is no stranger to the district. She's done a lot of subbing as a clerical person most recently, and Denise is filling big shoes at the elementary school. We all know who really runs the ship in the building. So welcome, Denise, and we look forward to having you as a permanent part of our staff. Dominique is joining us at the high school. She'll be working in the new program that we've been discussing. I know today you met with parents, so we're
Yes,
off to.
I'm really excited for the opportunity.
Off to a good start there. Katie again is not a stranger to Highland. She's been with us as a teaching assistant. She's been with us as a leave replacement in several capacities, and we are pleased to have her join us as a probationary elementary school teacher. Danielle Wilcox has also been with the district for a number of years as a leave replacement, and she's joining us now as a special education teacher. So welcome, Danielle. We also have Rebecca Moskin with us this evening. She's going to be a leave replacement for Patrick Boyd for the school year. Brittany, she's with us as a leave replacement. And last but certainly not least, we have Megan Torrey who's going to fill in for Sarah Moore, our school psychologist at the elementary school. So welcome all of you. We're excited to have you join us, whether it's in the leave replacement or in a probationary appointment. You're all important. You're all important to the work that we do for children. So congratulations.
Anyone on the board want to say anything?
Welcome, and congratulations.
Okay, moving on, that was very quick and painful. Under business and operations, and you're free to leave if you like to.
We're used to it, don't worry.
It's a short agenda, so if you want to stay around, I'm going to wrap up.
Let's stop by again.
We're just celebrating today.
Enjoy. Thank you. All right, enjoy.
Good luck, everyone.
Okay, under business and operations, we have a budget transfer. Be it resolved, the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of the Schools, approves the following budget transfer of $21,676 for the 2015 school year. Budget transfer number 11989 to $21,679. Can I have a motion, please? Motion by Deb, second by Heather. Discussion?
Just a quick question, I see the explanation of it, fund shot put.
Yeah.
Is that like, shot put like?
Yeah, there was a piece of the capital project that I'm not sure why it wasn't included with other pieces, but we discussed it administratively and didn't want it to be incomplete.
Okay, so it was not included in the capital project?
That's correct.
It would have appeared to make it incomplete, so, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Transportation contract, be it resolved, the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, approves the detached transportation contract between Highland Central School District and Mr. S. Barrett, parent of students, for the 2016-17 school year. Can I have a motion, please? Motion by Deb, second by Sue. Discussion?
Question, I didn't read the whole contract. If the parent is in an automobile accident while transporting their child to the school, whose liability does that fall under?
That'd be the parents,
That would still be the parents?
yes.
I never knew this existed.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Do you find this is widely used in your experience?
No, it's a rare instance. I've only had a couple of other occasions. Oftentimes difficult to get a parent to commit to transporting their own child. It can only be their own child. And it happens when the district can't efficiently transport the child themselves.
Right.
So sometimes you get these placements that are sort of way out in left field and
Yes,
beyond the
yeah.
scope of your usual operations.
Yep.
And
No, I feel this
as
is a
a
good
cost-saving
solution.
matter, we ask the parent if they can transport the child.
Yeah.
In this case, they could.
What if the parent decides in the middle of the semester, I just can't do this anymore, what would we do?
We'd have to arrange the resources to transport their child.
We would have
We still
to.
have the duty to transport
We
them.
do. Okay. Thank you.
Good job in exploring it. I mean, if it's not widely used, it is very good.
Anybody have any other questions?
Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay. Superintendent's comments?
Well, the board just, the board just completed a tour of the 3 campuses so that you could be brought up to date with the work that's being done. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of activity on each one of the campuses. And so far, we're moving along, and we're on schedule for things to be completed and ready for our students and staff to return. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that things continue to move as well as they have been. Still there's questions to be answered, and planning ahead for the next phase. As the board may recall, the mechanical review of 1B, which includes the security, the new secure vestibules and some of that work, that has been approved by an outside agency that was contracted with SED to complete that review, but we still don't have state education department sign off on it at this point in time. We met today with the Needham group. As you might recall, or some of you may, the Needham group did a district and building safety plan for the district that was completed just about the time that I joined Highland. And regulations have changed recently, and we met with them today to talk about updating our plans. That process will begin almost immediately, and will be ready for the board's review and approval, hopefully by early September. One of the new nuances of these safety plans is now the board will review the building and the district plans in executive session, because we're no longer, the whole thought process behind those plans has changed. They're not made public. We don't put them on our website. We talk about what's in the plan, but we don't reveal the plans. And even, to some, only to those in the need to know. So you'll see some, that there are some different, lots of different, yes, differences in approaches because of some of the unfortunate and tragic tragedies that have happened between then and now. So that work is underway. We are also working on a professional development plan that will come to the board in the not too distant future for your approval. We need to have that in place for the new APPR regulations that require a certain number of hours, and for us to become an approved provider through state education department. We first have to have an approved plan, so that work is underway. And Sarah's working with Carly, planning new teacher orientation, 24th and 25th of August. And because we have a rather large group of support staff coming in as well, we're going to have a separate day for orientation for them. That will be probably the week following. We have Deb, Ms. Pagano and Sue, you're both signed up for the law conference, and that's all been confirmed, right, Louise?
Yes,
Yep, so you're
Carly took care of that, but I saw
good to
the
go on Friday.
Great, thank
And
you.
we're working on our opening day agenda. Again, we've got some mandated training that we have to try to work into the day, as well as trying to make it inspiring and interesting in the beginning of the school year. So that's always a challenge. And I had mentioned to the board in my update, perhaps having, I know we don't have two members here this evening, but to look at your calendars for possibly a meeting on September 13th with a consultant who will come and meet with the board. No charge for that initial visit to see if they have the right approach that the board would feel comfortable in working through that process. I know it's something we've talked about on a regular basis, and we get it on our calendar, we get someone here, we'll look at,
Second Tuesday in September.
Yes.
and then as you see when you're walking just into the high school, lots of work going on in the buildings, like classrooms being painted here. I'm not sure about the other two buildings, and you'll see, they're trying some new techniques with the floor
I think
finishes.
it looks fabulous.
And there, as I mentioned, at the last meeting, I believe, we've been budgeting for equipment in our last several years of budgeting, and some of the equipment that's being purchased, you're seeing the results of that with, a higher level, I will use that word, of
Great job.
maintenance. I think that's all I have for right now. It's a lot going on.
Deborah, I know we mentioned this several times over the past several months, with having quite a few new hires, both on the support service staff and the teaching staff. We're going to be able to put together some, what they need to know packets to hand out, so they know who to contact at the business
Yes.
office,
Yes.
you know, all the issues that might come up and how they can have them resolved.
Some frequently asked questions, and yes.
Payroll schedules, things like
Yeah,
that.
payroll calendar, who they need to see if they need to change a deduction, who to see if they have
And that'll be
payroll.
part of that orientation also.
Yes, yes, and we also, I think we have some of that information on the
I was gonna
website.
say, we have all of that on the website, but maybe we can do a tutorial and just help them navigate and see what's there.
Even,
Yeah.
yeah, we created just a PowerPoint
Yeah.
and posted that on the website as well.
Agreed, yep.
It would,
So
you know,
yes,
show it to them that day.
we've heard the concerns that sometimes we overlook, making sure that everyone is aware of who they need to go to for what. So we're making improvements in that orientation plan. And certainly, as we said before, we encourage everyone to ask questions. I know we can encourage that, but some are still hesitant to come to us, or if they don't know their coworkers yet. So we'll do our best to make sure we answer those most important questions before they get started.
Good. Anybody have any questions for the superintendent?
No.
Sarah?
Well, Deb mentioned quite a few of the things. We are in the middle also of the summer work that's going on. So we've had our math cabinet met while I was on vacation and did a lot of work to really set up the structure for the K-12 math alignment. Really great conversations. It was members of math teachers from elementary, middle, and high school, really talking about how particular concepts flow from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. So really excited about that conversation. And then I sent the list at some point of all the different work that we have going on. So that's ongoing. Work with social studies teachers next week to really look at the new standards and new tests that are coming. So a lot of academic work happening, I guess, as well as the building work and the physical work. Other than that, we had I know Deb mentioned it before, but we had a great retreat last week with our administrative team. Again, trying to create communication between departments and between buildings about some of the big initiatives that we have going on. Looking at new teacher training, professional development plan is my next really big thing that I'm looking at.
Okay, anything for Sarah? Okay, under Board of Education, new business, I don't believe we have anything right now for new business. Under old business, where are we right now with discussion on smart school monies we're waiting for?
I believe we need to set up a support services meeting. to really set the direction. Carol has already, identified, I believe, the members of her technology committee that she feels would be, engaged in that conversation. We have, the technology plan that had to be submitted, the board had that prior, that's been submitted electronically to the state education department. We've not made application for any of the smart school monies yet, because we really need to have a plan how we're going to utilize that. And I think the biggest part of the conversation yet to be had is how does that interface with the building project. We had some brief discussions about enhance, we've had other thoughts and conversation about maximizing, so I think we have to come to some conclusion about how we're going to approach it, so that we can really map out what we're gonna do.
Do you wanna have that support service meeting, with our design professionals included in that, or do we just wanna have it, as a standalone?
I think at
In-house
this
for
point in
the
time, a standalone in-house, I think we need to be on the same page before we bring the design professionals into the conversation. I think it's more about how we're going to apply the funds versus, and, yes, because there's lots of things in the building project that will qualify for the smart
Right.
school money. And the question is, how do we go about utilizing those, maximizing, and this is my opinion, maximizing both sources.
And I believe that the support service is gonna need to have some pretty good information as far as what's included, in our capital project currently that can, that we can attach the smart school monies to it, so they have a good idea of what we're getting currently with the project, and maybe expand on it with the smart school money, or, like you said, be able to utilize some of that to offset the cost.
Or to create a greater capacity in the
Right.
17.5 million that we have. We can certainly put those items, the big items together. I think the other important piece of that conversation is to have our director of technology, so that the board, at least starting with the support services, has a good understanding of what we have currently in the district, what may need to be replaced in the near future that we could do with that smart school
Right.
money, and where we are with infrastructure. I don't know that we are as well versed as we could be, especially, every year we add,
Right.
every year things get updated.
Yes.
So I'm hoping we can have that meeting before the end of August.
What's our timeline on all of this?
The time, again, I wanna go
I'm
back
forgetting.
and get to our bond council. I think it would be the best source to get the answer to this question. When I read the guidelines, I read that once we bond, not ban, right now we're buying no's, but once we sell the bonds for the project, we can't use any smart school money to offset.
Huh, right.
So we haven't
Oh,
sold,
wow.
we haven't gotten
If
into
you-
phase 1B, which is where
Right.
most of
Right.
the work that could be related to smart school monies, that's where that will take place. But I wanna verify that my understanding of that is correct.
Okay, now, one of the things I know that could be like the phones, but I don't know, I don't think, were we told like exactly what technology was thinking of putting in?
In general,
Yes.
But we haven't
now
gotten
that it's
specifics.
designed, we should
Right,
get more of the
right,
specifics.
specifics.
Yes, and
Because I know-
we have that. We
Yeah.
got a proposal from NEC that's being fine tuned, and as I mentioned on our tour, our hope is that work's gonna happen before the fall, because our phone system is.
So then maybe that's something that might expedite it if
I
we use the
don't know
smart
if the smart school money can be
money.
utilized for.
Communication systems.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to
Yeah.
really look at those things a lot more closely so that we have a list for the support
I-
services to look
I
at.
think going into that meeting, my concern is, and this is where, you know, I think the entire board has to have some input, that do you really wanna use some of the smart school money against the capital project to increase its capacity? In other words, take some of that smart school money, apply it towards those items that we currently have in the capital project, offset those with the smart school money. That would create more capacity to do other things.
Exactly, yeah, definitely.
With that being said, I'm looking at it two different ways, because technology changes from year to year. And if what I'm understanding, this money can go out for a good number of years, you know, why use it all now? Can we plan and put a plan together, a 5-year plan, a 4 or 5-year plan, whatever it may be, and use some of that money as we progress further on and technology changes?
And I don't think there was ever the thought that all of the smart school monies would be
Correct.
applied.
Right,
Correct.
just some of it, I mean,
A portion
it might
of
expedite or help us
Right.
out.
And then, as you say, having a 4 to 5 year plan is how we're going to utilize
keep it separate.
the rest. Yes.
We don't, yes,
We can,
It has to be
From the
kept separate,
project, yeah,
separate,
separate.
actually.
but if
Right.
pull pieces
Even if
out,
we said,
even
but you
if we
couldn't
bond
use it for
out.
anything that was in the capital.
I guess to be clear, we, our thinking when we put the capital project together was not to use, originally was not to use smart school money.
We don't think it wasn't
No.
approved.
We
by the budget.
Yeah, I
we
don't
approved
think
it,
we- right.
you know, with
Right.
that 17.5 million and whatever we
Right.
designed into that project was coming out of that
Mhm.
capital fund. Right now, we're thinking, can we push some of that smart school money over into the capital project to free up other money for more capacity to do other
So
things?
some of the
Follow
things-
what's,
Right, so
what's,
some of the things, like maybe the tennis court.
Right, to free some money up for some of the things that we
Something like
had to
that.
take
some of the things that we
But-
weren't
yeah.
able to.
And when the
But
project
no.
was approved, the smart school bond had not yet been voted on.
So can we do that? And you're saying we can because we haven't bonded yet?
That's my
That's my
understanding.
understanding too.
But I
So
wanna
once
get-
you bond,
Nice if we could
you
all
can't do
do
it, so it doesn't
conversation,
matter that
right?
voter approval was based on.
Should be.
No,
Because
what-
that's really fluid,
What, I think
right? Right now.
what you're doing actually, and I'm gonna compare it to, maybe some of you will remember the Excel money, it's not exactly the same, but it's an opportunity to utilize both sources of money to get the, I'll use the cliche, the biggest bang for your buck. So if you can do a little more work, I'm gonna get you a hot spot right above your
Yeah.
seat. That we could accomplish both things. We can use the smart school monies and plan out however many years and how we're going to apply it. And also use a portion of it to pay for some of the work that's in the capital project that qualifies for smart school monies. And there's, you can use the same project numbers, I mean, there's a way, there's a system.
And it's
There's a
because we
process.
haven't bonded yet, that we can still make that decision.
That is my understanding.
It's mine as well, and I was gonna say, nice job with that. The only thing I would have added is so long as we spend any money on technology and that type of stuff before we do the bonding. That's the only caveat I'm aware of.
But Louise, soon after 1B is let out for bids and we award those contracts, you're gonna probably at that point have to go out and bond the project.
No, I'm gonna ban the project.
You're gonna ban it at that
Yeah.
point.
And then when we have all these bans and the bulk of the work done, and we really, I mean, we're still gonna be doing work on the roof in 18.
Okay.
And I have a debt service schedule in front of me,
So
just by
you
chance.
can go out that long to bond it.
We can, as long as
So we
we're
still
not.
have time to
So-
incorporate
Yeah,
it.
I'm not in a rush, but I
Yeah.
just don't wanna,
You can
I
still
would
do
like
it
to
though,
be
even
in
if we're
that
banned,
conversation.
yes.
not bonded.
The bond
Yeah.
is the final financing.
Okay.
That's
Now,
when
what
you,
was your caveat?
Well,
Sorry.
I was gonna say that, I just wanted to add that if we use some of that money for technology, we need to do it before we do the formal, bond.
If we use some of what? money?
Smart
Some of the
schools.
smart schools money for technology to increase the capacity on the capital project. We would
Okay.
have to tie that in before we bond it. I mean, and the market for interest has been relatively stable, so that doesn't seem to be a factor, but that could become a factor.
so I think it's timely that we get the support services.
We don't lose, we don't lose the interest, I mean, we're locked into that interest rate regardless if we band and then wait 2 or 3 years to
A bond is 1 year, we get an interest rate for, I'm sorry, a ban is 1 year, and we get that, we keep that interest rate until that ban matures, then we get another ban. And when we're ready and we know exactly what we're going to spend in total on the project, then we go out and we bond.
Okay, but initially when we
It is, so that's a
put the
good analogy.
project together, we based our interest, our debt on
Bonding,
was it a fixed rate at that point in time? I mean,
Yes.
how,
at that
how-
point, it will be like a mortgage when we go out and get a bond.
no, I understand that, but
The
What-
project budget,
the project budget
Right,
is built
yeah.
around an interest rate.
very conservative, right?
Right,
That's
I think we
correct.
were, so we're okay. staying
I think we're
within that.
okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
The only
so-
thing I was gonna say that I would add to that is our final debt, we've talked about this, and it's amazing how close it's getting. I can remember when we talked about this, it seemed like it was forever, but that final big debt service payment,
On the existing project.
on the existing debt, remember, we wanna align this new
Yes.
debt with the
Seventeen,
dropping
right.
off,
Right.
17, 18, which is next year.
Amazing.
I know.
So maybe that will.
So it's all lining up nicely.
And for those of you who are listening, the purpose of that was, if you weren't here for the project meetings, is so that when this work is completed, the work that was done in the 2001
2002, rather.
project will have been paid for. And now, when we acquire this new debt, it's not going to have a major impact on the operating budget. It should be fairly flat.
Seamless, yes.
Yes, so that you won't see a jump up in your property taxes because of the project. Can't guarantee other things, but for the building project at that time, that was done strategically.
So that bond is done after all the different phases of the project is done? Like, we don't bond for each phase, right? We bond for the whole.
That's correct, and we know exactly what we're gonna, I mean,
And we
in a
know how much we have to actually borrow to pay the
Yeah.
whole thing.
in a perfect world, we won't spend it all. I'm not gonna say that that's gonna be the case, but so that's why you don't do your long-term bonding until you know exactly what the total cost is.
So we have some time, I just,
Mm.
if we're going to,
We should start
if we're
thinking, yeah.
going to
Yeah.
wrap
Yeah.
any of the
Mm.
smart school monies into 1B, we should really be having those conversations
Oh, yeah,
soon.
no, definitely.
Yeah.
So how long is the window for the smart school money?
It's not defined, but
Oh, okay.
that doesn't, we know it's New York.
So this is New York, is this New York money?
Yes.
Or is it?
Yeah, this
It's
is
your
different?
money.
The voters,
Hey, it's all my money.
the voters
Oh.
approved, the voters across the state.
So this is New
was a-
York.
This was a proposition that was on like.
It was
So
the month
you're
after we
November
approved the
15th.
referendum. It was,
Yes,
2015, yeah.
yes, so it was approved, and so now at districts, I think we're starting to hear that districts are actually
Yes.
accessing it.
Oh,
Because if you
okay.
remember, we have to
Oh.
spend it first to get it.
and the
how
state
much
is borrowing
the
this.
How much is the whole pot of money for?
Ooh, I
Is
don't
it
For
know.
the
huge?
whole state?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
huge,
gigantic.
it's huge.
Gigantic, our
Okay.
portion is 1.123,
Yeah, something along
1.123.
those.
something like
But
that.
the state is borrowing this money, Sue, so this
Oh,
is
geez.
money they're borrowing that, as you
Oh.
said, we will all pay for it as taxpayers. And I don't know if everybody remembers this, but I don't,
We're borrowing.
It was a bond.
I don't think anyone thought this.
It was a state.
Oh, we don't know.
20 billion,
It
whatever.
was a proposition, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a proposition November
Yeah.
To the
15th.
state as far as.
So our portion is a
Yeah,
little
I don't wanna
over
be
$1
like
million.
Illinois or California where you're going bankrupt. Jesus.
And we really need to start talking about how we want to utilize our allocation.
Oh, yeah, all right, oh
Okay,
well.
do you want to set a date for
Dip
the
into
support
law.
service?
We can.
There's 2 of us here.
Yeah, well, there's Louise, you, me, Tom.
Before it's finalized, will the board get a list and their input?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. yeah.
Because I'd really like to
No,
see.
we just want to start, we started the conversation, but we didn't get very far. Because there were a lot of questions, so I think if we get together as a support services first,
Sure.
then we come back to the board and then we can go to our design team. Does that make sense to you, Al?
Yes. I just wanted, I wanted to make sure that the board was clear on, how the where the discussion was gonna go.
Yes.
I mean, we are gonna
That's a
talk
good
about
idea. No, I thought you
utilizing
pulled this
some of
million
it
out of our
to
project. I
gain,
think
you know,
Yeah,
more
it'd be crazy not
capacity
to.
in the current project.
Yeah.
And I like to see, you know, some more of a plan moving out with it too.
Yes, I think Carol definitely has some thoughts on that.
Okay?
All right, I don't
You
have
wanna
my-
try to wrap that up this month, right? Get
Yes,
there
if we
first
can,
one.
if we can. Get everybody together before the end of the month. I can send something out to, via email and
Is there
text
any-
everybody.
I was just, I'm looking at the board calendar. Do we wanna wait until school starts? Is there anyone that we want on that committee that maybe is not working over the summer?
I think the support
Support,
services
yes.
meets before the technology committee does.
I see.
So it would
Okay.
be you, myself, Mr. Miller, Tom, Alan, Ed, and Mike Reed.
Like,
Okay, do we wanna do it in August or September?
I think August, if we
yeah,
can.
maybe we'll do it in August.
Okay.
And then we can schedule one September.
Our
Maybe.
only
Meeting
meeting
then?
left in August would be the 16th, 2 weeks from tonight.
I was thinking the 22nd, it's a Monday night, is everybody, anybody on vacation that week?
Okay, well, we'll check with Ed, we'll check
Okay.
with Mr. Miller.
Vacation?
What's that?
All right,
Tell
so
me about it.
let's look at 8/22 and we'll confirm with everybody in the.
I was on a right vacation.
Give yourself a day off.
So I'll do an
August
invite,
20th?
an
Yes.
email invite
22nd.
after we check with the.
22nd.
Yeah, so Louise is gonna send out an email invite. Don't forget Mr. Reed.
And Carol too, right?
Right.
Carol.
4 p.m.? Or
Yeah,
earlier
4
or later?
p.m.
or-
3:30.
Well, let me
See who's
field the
See,
rest of the.
feel it with.
Okay.
Okay, does anyone else have anything for old business, anything for the good and welfare of the district? Okay, I'll open the meeting up to public comment.
Thank you for staying.
Yes, thank you for staying, and I wish you well.
Oh, good.
Oh.
And, motion to go into executive session for, I forgot what that, no, we don't have it on there. But it's under personnel, and there is the possibility that the board might come back out to public session. Okay, have a motion, please? Motion by Tom, second by Heather. All in favor? Opposed? So carried. Thank you. for
Yes,
coming
thank
out.
you.
Thank you very
Thank you all.
much. Thank you.